The following is the story of male to female transitioner who has undergone sex change surgery and is experiencing pain, emotional distress, and discharge from freshly created new genitals. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
I know recovery takes a long time, but this is dramatically worse than what I was told to expect. I was told to take 6 weeks off work and that I would get my energy back for like a month. I still can't work a full day or really do much of anything at home. I can't stand for very long, sitting is extremely unpleasant, and walking wears me out. I spend long periods of time just lying in bed staring at a wall because I don't have the energy to do anything else. Dilation was bloody, and then became merely unpleasant but is now both bloody and excruciatingly painful. It gets worse over time somehow. The discharge smells horrible. Sometimes I can even smell it through my clothes. I haven't found a way to manage that yet, and my doctor's suggestions don't seem to help much. There aren't any good sensations to be had, and I've tried. My clitoris is splotchy, red, and oozes yellow discharge, and the area all around it is still swollen and painful to the touch. The labia are intensely painful even to the slightest touch. This also makes walking difficult. My vagina is a patchwork of numb and painful areas. Just having this whole area of my body be so painful and vulnerable and the constant vigilance required to not hurt it is very demoralizing. This surgery has such a high satisfaction rate, so it's possible that all these issues will ameliorate over the next few months, but it's also possible that I'm just over of the unlucky ones or I'm taking bad care of my body somehow. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing everything I can. I'm spending all of what little energy I have taking care of this thing. I have no guarantee that things will actually get better, or that I will have any sexual function ever again. Maybe if I didn't have a libido, or partners, that would be okay. I was so disgusted by my body before surgery and couldn't stand it any longer. And while this is a marginal improvement, I feel exhausted and depressed, and sexually frustrated.
Here are some of the responses to the post. The link to the original post will be pinned in the comment section down below.
Yellow, green, or non-clear, except for a little blood. Discharge is a sign of infection. Same with that smell. See doctor to get the infection under control so you heal properly.
I did, and the gynecologist thought that the yellowish discharge was part of the healing process, the skin adjusting to its new environment. It just seems like it's taking forever.
Nurse practitioner here. Other posters are right in that it sounds like that you have a surgical site infection. Your frustration and anger is completely valid, but a lot of your pain and suffering will likely be relieved by a simple antibiotic. Your clitoris shouldn't be oozing yellow discharge.
My clitoris been through a lot. It came home completely obscured by a giant scab, which then changed into a giant white blister. It's unencumbered now, but leaking yellow discharge. I'll ask my surgeon about it again.
At 2 months, you should not be bloody. That goes away in 2 weeks. Dilation should really have never been bloody outside the first couple weeks or so of healing. Something is wrong. It really sounds like you have an infection. You should call your doctor. It's normal and understandable to be angry here.
I've heard that something called granulation tissue can develop that bleeds easily. Things stopped being bloody pretty quickly, and then started again, and my surgeon's office doesn't seem to be able to understand the trajectory, just hears bleeding and says, "That's normal," and shrugs me off.
Granulation tissue can make dilating a little bloody, but the rule of thumb I keep hearing is that there should not be enough blood to fill a pad in an hour.
I never get any vaginal discharge on my pad. I think the entrance is too tight. Even when I'm douching, it's difficult to get the water back out of me. The blood and discharge only come out after dilating, and it's enough to soak through a bunch of tissues. But it's also mixed with lube, so it's hard to tell.
It sounds like you have a bunch of hypergranulation tissue. I did too. I'm honestly surprised that your surgeon hasn't mentioned it, but it should clear up in a big hurry once you start addressing it. Get to a local doctor, ideally one who knows about trans issues. They can do topical applications of silver nitrate and get you a prescription for a topical steroid for the vaginal tissue. In the meantime, just keep wearing pads. They're annoying, but they'll contain the leaking and smell.
I've heard tales of this silver nitrate. I'm not allowed to have a speculum exam for another month. Do you think that's a barrier to getting silver nitrate to the right places?
I've never had a speculum exam. You'll likely get topical applications of silver nitrate to the exterior and topical steroids for the interior. Literally within 2 days of starting the topical steroids internally, dilating was a piece of cake. And the amount and scent of what ended up on my pads was drastically improved.
Easy dilation? Sign me the fuck up. I'm starting to develop a fear response to anything going near my vagina because of how painful dilation is.
I also had a fairly lengthy recovery, but 2 months is still pretty recent, so I don't think what you're describing is that atypical. I think it was around month 3 that things started to drastically improve for me. One thing I found really helpful with dilation was going to a pelvic PT, and she has been great in ensuring that I don't have things like infections or abnormal discharge. It's definitely not an easy process, but you are through the worst of it. Stay strong.
Oh man, I was there. Post-operative depression and anxiety is super fucking common and no one mentions it. It really does get better. Make sure you mention this to your doctor. Dilation shouldn't suck. You probably need either estrase or hydrocortisone cream. It was awful for me for a while, to the point of drawing blood with my nail on my arm. Cream made that go away in like 3 days. You need to talk to your doctor because I don't know exactly what's going on. I was given 2 types, estrase, which is estrogen cream and helps with moisture and skin flexibility. Separately, I was given hydrocortisone cream, not the Vaseline-based one, which helps with swelling and red inflamed tissue.
You may also have granulation tissue, which is what I had. It was bright red in color, and it was discharging as well, and it was extremely painful. Ugh. I couldn't stand for long, and I was always taking pain meds, wondering when would my vagina heal, and wondering will the pain ever go away? Until I discovered tea tree oil. I put like 10 to 15 drops in my bathwater and soaked myself. When I tell you that it healed me from the inside out in a matter of about 4 to 5 days. OMG. That was one of the happiest moments in my life. From that day forward, I swear by it, and I even mix it in my douche, and it works wonders. BTW, I did this one to 2 times daily until I was completely healed. Hope this helps.
A while after surgery, there is a time when many switch from regular douching to trying to install a flora like it is present in cisgender people. This flora can help fending off unwanted bacteria that can be responsible for a bad smell, etc. Douching too often can prevent a natural flora, but it may be necessary in case of an infection for some time. Quite a few surgeons recommend eating organic, unsweetened yogurt. They contain live bacteria, which can help populate a neovagina. It can also help repopulate the digestive tract after antibiotics. Some people additionally use products like Intrafresh or Femina Flora. They help install helpful bacteria too. I'd say talk it all through with medical personnel. Hugs and hope you recover soon.
I read through a study on microflora in the neovagina, and unfortunately, it seems the environment isn't acidic enough to support healthy vaginal flora, at least with the technique I received, due to the lack of the proton pump action in the inverted penile skin, whatever that means. I hear there are pessaries that will decrease the pH of the vagina, so after I heal up some more, maybe a combination of lactobacillus and boric acid pessaries will get me a more natural odor and taste, on the hope that sexy times are in my future. But for the moment, I just want it to stop behaving like a terribly fragile wound.
Well, one more thing. The tissue of a neovagina can react to hormone replacement therapy like a cisgender vagina, so levels should be well in the female range. Otherwise, there can be dryness like in menopausal people. The repurposed penile tissue reacts to estrogen or T from HRT. It's just what this kind of tissue does. There are a number of known issues concerning vaginas with menopausal people, so levels should be well above that.
Just a reminder, this video simply voices over the Reddit post and some of the responses and is not meant to be used as medical advice. The original poster has deleted their Reddit account since. I hope they are still alive and were able to figure their life out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like to raise awareness and to help me out.